All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Bob Arum, Terence Crawford, and how Bob Arum's actions with Tyson Fury may very well prove what Terence Crawford said about him in his lawsuit. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Terence Crawford and how it may very well be right about his lawsuit about Bob Arum, and how Bob Arum pretty much just proved it with this Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte fight. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It really does mean a lot to me. If you're not subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also make sure that you hit all notifications so that you won't just get them occasionally, you'll get them all the time. All right, so let's go through this. Terence Crawford is suing Bob Arum because he said that Bob Arum breached his contract. Spare you a lot of the details related to that. He also says in supporting his argument for the breach of contract that Bob Arum does not promote him the same way that he promotes Europeans and other fighters, and said that he did not make Terence Crawford a big pay-per-view star because he did not give him the same promotional energy that he would give to other people. So now what do you hear today? That Bob Arum does exactly that with Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte, two UK, not even American, not for a fight, not even taking place in the United States. He is putting significantly more effort into promoting Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte than he did to Terence Crawford and Sean Porter. And when I mean significant, I mean significant. What they're doing is Bob Arum has just announced today that the pay-per-view for Tyson Fury will not just be available on ESPN Plus. It will also be available on all of the different cable networks. So if you have DirecTV, if you have different local cable providers, the pay-per-view, you will be able to buy that pay-per-view straight from your local cable provider. Unlike what they did with Terence Crawford, which was to limit the number of people, limit the ways that you could buy the fight strictly to the ESPN Plus app, which in Terence Crawford's assessment killed his pay-per-view buys. Now, what is the difference between the two? When you go to your cable, no matter what cable provider you have, if you have DirecTV, all kind of people are used to ordering movies, DVRs on their television, and all they have to do is look up and they'll get advertised and press a button that says buy. It will immediately get billed to their cable bill, and they would pay that $79 or whatever it is at the end of the month. Maybe in certain circumstances, you may have to put in a credit card to buy it. However, what you do not have to do is go to your telephone and get an app downloaded on your phone, or an app downloaded on, and some people, by the way, don't have smart TVs, which would even allow them to download an app and buy it on their television set. They got to go through all kind of different ways to try to get that fight. And you know, the more difficult you make it to buy the fight, more people are going to give up and not buy the fight. So this is a huge example of Bob Arum doing something for a European fighter that he would not do for a Black American fighter. And please, anybody in the comment section that wants to make an excuse for this, please do not act like Bob Arum and Top Rank and those guys did not know that that it's a lot more difficult to buy a fight through an app than it is to just get it off of your television. Now, and also in order to do that, what do you have to do? You have to work and strike deals with different network providers and different people in order to get that fight televised on there, to get that televised on their network. A huge difference in the promotional push for Tyson Fury versus Dillian White versus Terence Crawford and Josh Taylor, and then Terence Crawford and Sean Porter. Huge difference when you got two black fighters versus you having a European champion in Tyson Fury. And it's been that case with Tyson Fury's promotion versus Terence Crawford's promotion from the minute Tyson Fury got over there to ESPN, which, by the way, is the American promoter for Tyson Fury, not the UK promoter for Tyson Fury. Bob Arum is trying to get 300,000 pay-per-view buys for Tyson Fury in the United States, and is trying to grow Tyson Fury's presence in the United States, and is willing to take, if it doesn't cost more money, because honestly, I wouldn't think that they would have to pay money out of their pocket to make these fights available for on DirecTV and the such. I know that DirecTV and those guys are going to have a charge for every purchase that's made, but just simply the effort and the foresight that they use to try to use every avenue that they possibly can to try to get Tyson Fury's name out there and to have more purchases and more buys for that guy, who, by the way, in the United States has never proved anything as far as being a big draw in the United States. He fought Deontay Wilder on pay-per-view 3 times. Those all included Deontay Wilder, who was already a popular American fighter. And what was he doing when he didn't fight Deontay Wilder? He was selling 3,000 tickets in Las Vegas against Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz. Nowhere near the type of numbers for viewership or the number of people that attended the fights when he fought Deontay Wilder. Unlike Terence Crawford, who is from the United States, and if you promoted him actively and spent the money on the dude actively, should have a lot bigger name than he already does. But he never got that type of publicity. Sorry about that. Had to take a little bit of a production break there. Had somebody coming in who's going to come help get my house right. My dogs went berserk. But anyway, this is a type of promotion for Tyson Fury that proves as a great example. But does it prove beyond anybody's doubt? I doubt that, because some people are just going to brush it off, period. However, to me, this is a clear example of what people have been talking about with Bob Arum for years, and how he has favoritism towards European fighters. He has favoritism, and he does not promote American black fighters with anywhere near the same effort, without anywhere near the same resources or focus that he does with other people. That has been the case with Floyd Mayweather Jr. when Floyd Mayweather Jr. was with him. It is the case with Shakur Stevenson relative to what he did for Teofimo Lopez. It's the case with Tyson. Is the case with Terence Crawford, how Terence Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world and never got promoted like Bob Arum promoted Vasily Lomachenko. And now you have what was it, 135,000 or something like that pay-per-view buys for Terence Crawford when he's stuck on that app. But now when it's Tyson Fury, you're going to pull out all of the stops. You're going to pull out all of the stops to make sure that everybody possibly can have an opportunity to get a shot that everybody has an opportunity to watch that fight, by making it as easy on everybody else to buy Tyson Fury's fight. But you couldn't do that for Terence Crawford, and make all kind of people go through all kind of difficulties to get that fight by downloading and having it only available on the ESPN app. Absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm glad Terence Crawford is not with Top Rank anymore. Wish he would have left him a long time ago. That is my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.